So much right there.
That's all right.
They're same age pictures. It's amazing. Ellen, almost identical to my mama. If you look at the same age.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Did you tell Carter? Tell them Carter was out there? Tell them out.
Y'all doing good? How's the model? Isn't that where y'all went?
That's where we went.
Oh, yes. When you find something, yeah. Actually, I've noticed that they don't have as much available as they did just 6 months ago. Yeah. No, you don't. I did notice that. There was very few, and the few are huge. That's right. Well, now she has an excuse. Oh, that's good. Well, we got everything you need. And we got grandchildren.
My mother died back in 1989.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm finding the shade.
I know.
Finding Stacy.
I know.
Yeah.
Seems like that happened overnight.
Well, my sister died last January.
Mistake. You know, we're just looking at names a lot of other folks. So, I went for years without knowing her, and me and Brenda and I shared the same birthday. Yeah, we did. Why have I seen you before? Oh, Obion. I thought it was Obion. And what? Aren't you smart? Hey, Robin, how you doing?
You don't read the book. Well, mine did too. They read different books.
We're just trying to survive it.
How you doing?
Or ringing right. Yeah. All right, you know, we just left 2 years ago. It was Robbie. Two things I thought about. One, I saw your daddy at the Portmore Festival. And I'm glad I did. We had a nice visit.
That wasn't long ago, was it?
No. And he had just had surgery.
Yeah.
My daddy had no memory. And she was diagnosed. But the other thing I remember is when your mother was, we found out she was pregnant with you. We had a ball game because they all do the same thing. And I said, Gail, do I offer commiseration or congratulations? She said, well, a few days ago it was commiseration, but now I think it's congratulations.
Yeah.
So I thought about that. I saw
Many ball games on the left.
Oh, yes, he did. And enjoyed every minute. Well, he put a lot of years and time into many of us. Cleaned up whatever had to be done. We survived.
I'm doing good.
Good to see you. Good.
Right over here. Yeah. So sorry, y'all. Appreciate I know, we don't have a ready. Good man.
Tell her Ask her in a year.
Really? Check it on y'all.
Yeah, you think you are, and then you won't be because they know you don't have a job. Well, I said.
I know it. Hey, how you doing? Outside. Here you again, Harold.
I know, that's right.
We stayed in the shower. There's that.
Watch your step.
It's going to be live stream, so I got you a podium that you needed. Okay, this is yours. Bobby's going to set this up based on where you're. Okay, I didn't know where you wanted to be. Sunshine, I'll take the shade. That's all right. Whatever is best for you.
Get my text.
I did. I sure did.
There really wasn't more other than they was in the.
Hey, that was that nailed it. I mean, hey, that nailed it.
That's pretty much all.
Where do you want to?
I don't know. Your choice. You just. I mean, I'm gonna live stream it.
That'll be fine.
I'm gonna let you pick where you want to be in the cave if possible.
If I could at least be able to, I'd like to be out from under the tent, but oh, it's yeah, right here will work.
Well, that work. Let me put this for you, Bill, and I'm gonna set this right here in case you need it.
Hey, brother Billy.
Hey.
Hey, how are you doing? Hale, good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, hey, I'm all right. But know that today one of the first things I'm gonna do is throw you in the bus, and you'll find out.
I like a little cup.
That you can hardly catch it. Okay.
Don't worry.
All right, that'll work.
In about 5 minutes, we're gonna get y'all
Come over here and take a seat. We're about 5 minutes to.
Yeah, everybody's looking for the shit.
This way, right?
Yeah.
So everybody can stay inside.
Yeah, well,
I'll put my.
that group over there kind of looks like a bunch of cows. You know, they get on a little sapling or something.
That one little tree.
That's okay.
And,
If they need to stay there, we're gonna let them do it.
we'll be ready. I think whenever you give us the signal.
We'll do that. Thank you.
He's gonna stay right here.
It's a tough sun today, isn't it?
I tell you what, I don't know
I know we didn't plan it out good enough.
we can tell them we're gonna rehearse this over. Uh-oh, well, I may need that. What you wrote.
I can bust back there in the shade. Look at it. Ten foot hay. Yeah. Hey Jim, they gonna have a book to sign. Okay.
They didn't have one. No, it's
Yeah, I'll draw him.
He's over there talking. I saw him like on spot.
Hey, Ronnie.
Y'all going through a down time too right now, aren't you?
Well, I'll tell you, but it's life. That's just the nature of life.
It is. It is. It's just holding that next chapter.
There you go. That's it. Yep.
How you doing?
nothing that I'm aware of. We got about 4 minutes. I'm gonna get Hale and Robbie and Stacy.
Hey, yeah, how you doing?
I told them if they really thought about this, they'd have had that for years. I know. I don't think they knew the sun was going to be this week. Yeah. Yep.
And they said that's where they were when they did. But it's not 100 degrees out there.
Yep. Not better than it was a month ago.
You're right. All right, if y'all want to go ahead and be taking your seats now. Stacy, y'all want to come on up and let's have a seat.
Thank you.
It's all right.
Thank you.
Y'all come on up, let's have a seat.
Yes, I will.
You got that right. Some of them say I got shade and I ain't moving.
Any of you that would like to, no need to let a good shade go to waste. So, all right. Ready? Okay. This evening, as we begin, I think it was Stacy that wrote this, and just in case you did not see the words that she wrote in the obituary column, it just says volumes about what this man was all about. And they sat down as a family and put these thoughts together and shared some stuff, so I want to share some of it with you. On Wednesday, September the 22nd, 2001, Michael Dwaine Smith Sr., devoted husband, father, and granddaddy, passed away at age 71 and was united for eternity with the love of his life. Mike was born on August the 25th, 1950 in Hawkinsville, Georgia, to C.E. and Mary Smith. On September the 4th, 1971, he married Ellen Gale Cross, and they joyfully raised 3 sons and a daughter in Linden, Alabama. Mike was a dependable and dedicated employee of CMAX in Demopolis for over 40 years, and then a lovingly dedicated caretaker for his wife for the past 8 years. Mike was a proud and committed member of both Linden, Alabama, and later Thomaston, Alabama communities, where he loyally served Providence Baptist Church and Thomaston Baptist Church. Mike's Christian values were obvious in every aspect of his life and were an example to others. Folks, as I read this, it said, nobody knows you like your family knows you. And I appreciated so much the things that they shared together. He was a beloved storyteller. And if you knew Mike, you knew he loved to tell a story. He loved to joke. He always had a smile on his face. But he was a beloved storyteller and a knowledgeable church teacher whose wisdom and humor were enjoyed and appreciated by all, from church pews to the front porch of the Thomaston coffee shop. Mike always had a friendly word and a handshake for everyone. He had a knack for making all he met feel encouraged and important. Mike's biggest joy in his life was his family, especially his grandchildren. He traveled many miles, supporting their many ball games, school plays, award moments, and beauty pageants. His pride for their accomplishments was evident in his hugs and his smiles. He never missed a moment if he could help it, and his face will be missed in the bleachers and chairs as they continue to make him proud in his absence. Mike leaves a legacy of faithfulness, service, and friendship behind, which will surely be carried on as his grandchildren make their marks in the world. His memory will be honored as they befriend, serve, and continue to tell Granddaddy's stories. Mike was preceded in death by his wife Gail Smith and his parents. He is survived by his children, Hale, his wife Lynn, Michael, his wife Samantha, Stacy, her husband Danny, and Robbie and his wife Mallory, his grandchildren, Chloe, Cecilia, Payne, Ness, Rosemary, Buck, Carter, Ellen, and Colin, and a brother, Linwood Smith. Also, it was noted to me by the family that they wanted to be sure and call attention to the fact that Mike was a very dedicated and active member of Providence Baptist Church and then Thomaston Baptist Church. And that he loved them. He loved both of those churches. But in these last years of his life and Gail's, there's a deep appreciation, and he had a deep appreciation for the congregation of Thomaston Baptist Church and the way they came alongside and loved them and helped them, sought to make a difference and do what they could to make life easier during a very difficult time. Also, when Mike first found out that he had cancer, he was talking with some friends and he made the statement. He said, well, I'm going to do everything I can to beat this. When he found out he had melanoma and all the process first started, he said, I'm going to do everything I can to beat this. But if I can't, when I pass on and I go through the gates of heaven, I'm going to see Gail and we're going to dance, dance, dance. But I'm going to tell you what, Mike and I go back a long way. Now, it wasn't Mike that introduced me to the Smith family. It was Hale. I was at Providence Baptist Church preaching a trial sermon. I was in the bathroom and I was just finishing washing my hands. And there came a rapping on that door, pulling on the handle. And then wham, wham, I'm talking about railing on that door. I thought it was a 300-pound gorilla. And I opened the door, and there stands Hale, and a lot of you wouldn't remember him, but Randy Ramsey, and both of them about, I'm looking for the big gorilla up here, and I looked down, and two little sweethearts looked up at me and said, I wish you'd hurry up in there. So welcome to the Smith family. Mike and I, through time, shared a lot of great times together. We never saw these days. You don't when you're young. I remember, just like yesterday, the young married class and the fellowships that we would have together and gather at different homes and things like that, and just the great times of fellowship and camaraderie, and we were all young and bulletproof. Some of y'all may not even remember those days in your life, but we've all been there. You see, I read a thing the other day that said the reason I'm old and wise is because God took care of me when I was young and stupid. And I think there's something to be said for that. But when we're young, we don't see these days. But what a joy it was to be able in the younger years through the brotherhood ministry and things like that at Providence, to be able to serve with Mike and like the family noted, what an awesome memory it is. Only death could take the smile off of his face, even when he was sick and hurting. But I want you to know it can't take it off permanently, because guess what, folks? It's there again. And I believe that with all my heart. He was a man of character, a man of integrity, a man you could depend on, a man who, my life is richer because of the time we spent together, and everything from following athletics and all kinds of stuff in the early years, but then be brought back together in these last years and be able to walk with him through this part of his journey. And through this part of his journey, this is something that's very special to me. It's one thing to try to live like a believer. Something people have a hard time doing is sometimes to die like a believer. He showed us how. He was a man of integrity and a man of faith, and he kept his eyes on Jesus to the very end. And I want to share a thought with you and then close. That thought is just one scripture from the New Testament book of 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians is a book where Paul, scholars tell us that it's as though Paul had a letter in hand that had been delivered to him about all the problems that were going on in Corinth. If ever Paul had a problem child church, it was Corinth. They had every kind of mess going on there that you can begin to think of. And as he comes to the end, he unfolds to them about the mystery of death. In fact that's the word that he uses. In the Greek, it's mysterion. We get the word mystery in the English from it. And he said, behold, in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, beginning in verse 51, he says, behold, I show you a mystery. I show you a mysterion. And he says, we shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. Now, one time I saw if y'all can help her out, please.
Just go and do it. Watch her hip. Watch her hip. I'm telling you now, I heard it pop.
If we can get her a chair over here, that would be great.
Let's set it back down. Take the
Here,
coat
you
off.
can put her in here.
Take the coat off. Somebody take the coat off.
Not her, not her.
No, not her coat. Give me her coat, Jim. Wait a minute.
You sit her in there, sit her in here.
Just slide that coat up under her. Slide that coat up on her bottom.